My skin.
My skin looks
so
silky smooth.
Silky smooth.
Silky smooth.
Did you check your phone? Check your phone.
Check your wallet. Check your wallet.
Check your keys. Check your wallet. Check your life.
Check your life. Check your wife. Check your knife.
Why are you doing that? Stop it.
You're rubbing off on me. Joey's like, wait a second. That's my shtick. You're stealing my shtick, Blake.
Do you remember when we were like, what's the stick?
Yeah, that was Pokemon Heart Gold.
Yeah.
And it was,
You know what's funny, Blake?
what?
I've just been holding this coaster. I haven't actually made a spot on your desk. I've just been holding the coaster with my drink on it.
You're a special kind of person.
I'm like one of those people that's holding their one of them British people that's holding their plate and their tea.
The tea?
Oh my god.
It's gonna be one of those videos.
It's gonna be a long day.
Dude, we can just fucking move this.
Okay.
You don't need to like, oh my gosh, it's in the way.
It's an impenetrable fortress.
It's imperishable.
Penetrable.
It's imperishable. Alright, everybody, welcome back to Higurashi.
All good?
Yeah, I'm good. I gotta get the deep voice when I'm doing Mion/Shion, whichever they want to be. Whichever they want to be.
Wait.
Now, see, if one dies, that makes it easier. That way we don't, it's like, okay, that one's dead. Who are you?
Which one are you? Take off your shirt.
Turn around first.
No.
Take off your jacket. I said mine's not hot.
Not jacket.
You're the creepo that just said take off your shirt.
Okay, I don't care.
This is not Mardi Gras.
I didn't throw beads at her first.
I don't know why that sounds so entertaining to me. It's like, did you ever play those Pokemon games with the Savari Zone? You throw bait at them, and then they're like, and then you throw the Pokeball when they're not looking.
See, I could see you going to Mardi Gras and nailing someone with some Mardi Gras beads. Just like balling it up in a ball, and just like,
why would I? You say that you would think I would do that, but you know that's not true. You want it to be true.
Because it would be funny.
You would do it, but you're afraid to admit that you're that horrible of a person. That's what it is. I think I cracked the code. I think I cracked the code. Okay, let's finally get started.
It's only a 3-minute.
It's only been 3 minutes.
It's only a 3 minutes.
Only 3 minutes. This is going to be like a 3-hour video, so 3 minutes is like negligible.
Like, why did you just jinx yourself so hard right there?
Jinkies.
Gee willikers, mister.
Continue.
Now we have to get serious.
Alright, so Shion's Mion, Shion. Okay, you're up to speed.
If you haven't been with us...
Oh, now we're going to get to, what was it, Twisted Sisters from the second chapter? Where we had the big talk with Mion. Mion. Wait, it's actually Mion, now that I think about it. God damn it, this plot twist!
But actually, it's actually Mion.
What a twist!
Oh wait, they're swapping places. Oh wait,
now they're back.
Now they're back to original.
It's
position.
proper.
What?
Oh, Reina.
Me-chan? You didn't get much sleep either, did you?
Did you, Blake?
Did you?
Yeah. I went to bed at like 3. I'm a little tired. 3? Hey now, you can't keep staying up late.
3?
You probably read the first volume of a manga, thought it was interesting, then read the entire series, didn't you? I understand, I've done that before.
What?
Nope. I went to the Furide Shrine to join the youth group in their search for the mayor. Since I knew there was no way he could be found, it was really boring for me. Well, just enduring sleepiness wasn't that bad. Not if you consider what Kimiyoshi had to go through since last night. He had been hanging from the ceiling and couldn't even fall asleep or sit down, since he had to stay on tiptoes the whole time.
I like how we're just kind of skipping through all this stuff.
Yeah! The teacher explained to us that the mayor had gone missing and asked us if we knew anything. That is angry as fuck!
You okay?
Staring into my soul! Chie-sensei! Chill!
She's like, you know what you've done.
I'm tired of you giving me this voice! Enough is enough! It's really getting on my nerves! It hurts my throat!
A couple of people said some things, but they were irrelevant. Not the things they said, the people themselves were irrelevant. To me, this issue meant nothing, but it was all my classmates were talking about. I observed Keiichi Marabara. I had no idea if any type of danger was drawing closer to him. Maybe I'd call him again tonight, pretending to be Shion. I told him some outrageous stuff last night, so he panicked. But I was sure he calmed down after a day. At that time, I heard a little girl's laughter.
Rika.
It was Rika Furide, the last survivor of the Furide family and their current head. However, she wasn't really treated as one. During the family councils, she'd often draw pictures or take a nap in the hag's bed. She wasn't even invited to last night's meeting. It was hard to believe such a little girl was responsible for part of the curse system. However, even though she wasn't in a respected position as the head of the Furide family, there were plenty of old people who worshipped her as a reincarnation of Orishiro-sama.
Oh, no.
I had heard from someone that Rika Furide was rather odd, and seemed to behave as if she knew she was that reincarnation. Maybe Takano-san had told me that at the library when she was still alive. When Rika Furide became worried about something, the elderly people who worshipped her would make arrangements. It was very similar to the Sonozaki family, and it was also the same system as used for the curse. I wonder, does Rika Furide know anything about the deaths of Takano-san and Tomitake-san? What does she think of the people sneaking into the ritual storehouse? Does she know who snuck in and what happened to those people? As the one managing the storehouse, it was possible that she noticed the intruders first. In fact, she was the only one who could have noticed it. She must have passed on that information, which is why the curse was executed. That foolish Keiichi turned the light on when we went into the ritual storehouse. That light switch could have been connected to some kind of alarm. Rika Furide, the leader of the Furide family. Maybe getting to know her would be a good idea. As the leader of the Furide family, how much do you know about the incident? I asked her rather directly. It was hard to tell if she understood what I was asking in place of the Sonozaki family head, instead of as Mion Sonozaki. Are you talking about Tomitake and Takino? Rika answered. The news hadn't been made public, yet she knew about it. Although she looked immature, perhaps she truly was the head of the Furide family. That's the curse of Orishiro-sama. I already know that. But it's not over yet, is it? There should still be 2 more. Have you heard about what will happen to them? I tried to be vague to see how Rika Furide would react. I had been thinking that she had nothing to do with the underside of Hinamizawa, since she was always treated like a child. However, Rika had just said things about the incident which normal people shouldn't know anything about. That proved she belonged to the Underside's network. I don't think that matters anymore. She answered the question about Tomitake-san and Takano-san fairly quickly, but took a little longer to answer this time. Did she have to think about it? Shit. The look on her face never changes. It's impossible to figure out what she's thinking. What do you mean? How can they get away with what they've done? I think if they feel bad about what they've done, that should be fine. Her response was unexpected, especially after seeing all the old people get so furious last night. To trespass in the ritual storehouse was blasphemy, against Oishiro-sama. The village elders had said those intruders deserved to die. Yet the leader of the Furide family, who protected the sacred storehouse for ritual implements, said if they felt remorse for it, then that was fine. I recalled how people thought of Rika Furide's father during the dam conflict. Yes. Her father was called an opportunist back then. He didn't agree with the Onikafuchi guardians who had resisted violently during the conflict, like father like daughter. I aggressively grabbed Rika Furide by the collar. Huh? What the heck are you talking about? You're pretty stupid, just like your predecessor, aren't you? The Furide family must understand better than anybody how sacred the ritual storehouse is. How could the head of the family say such a thing? I laughed at myself. I was told the same thing by someone else and was now saying it to Rika. Don't you know how serious a crime trespassing in the ritual storehouse is? It's a very important place for Oishiro-sama, so nobody could go in without permission. See, you know that, but those 4 people brought their filth in there. What bad kitty cats. Meow. That's right, bad cats. 2 cats have been caught and punished. There are 2 more. Meow. How do you think they should be punished? Tell me your opinion as the head of the Furide family. Rika really didn't usually wear any expressions whatsoever, making it impossible to tell what she was thinking. But while I grabbed her by the collar and stared at her, I could tell somehow. Rika was a little disturbed. I sensed she was trying to see what I was thinking in turn. I want to forgive those 2 kitty cats. Why should they get away with what they've done? Me? What are you trying to say? That's a good question, so let me explain. Those 2 must offer compensation for what they've done. They have to clear away their sins. Otherwise, Oishiro-sama won't stop being angry. Every crime must be punished appropriately. Do you understand? Oishiro-sama doesn't get angry even if someone enters the storehouse. Huh? What are you saying? The reason why nobody is allowed to see the ritual storehouse is because there are too many scary tools in there. I'm sure people would get scared if they saw them. That's why we don't let people in there. I'm sure those intruders were scared too. And I'm sure they feel bad about what they've done. They're forgiven once they feel bad about what they've done? That's not for you to decide. That's what Oishiro-sama decides. I'm the shrine maiden of Oishiro-sama, don't you know? Of course I do. You aren't telling me that Oishiro-sama told you he isn't angry, are you? Rika nodded with yes without hesitation. I can't believe the lies she's coming up with. I'm not surprised, I'm shocked.
Ooh.
Huh. That's why your parents died of the curse 2 years ago. Oishiro-sama was angry because they didn't deserve to serve him. That's why he cursed your father. Oishiro-sama would never do that. My father didn't die because of the curse of Oishiro-sama. Bah! Am I really talking to the last shrine maiden of the Furide family? Obviously, Oishiro-sama can't be at peace. You are supposed to worship Oishiro-sama. How pathetic. I don't know why you're so angry, me. I realized. She was in a position to know as much as the other 2 family heads. As proof, she talked about this year's incident as though it was nothing. Yet she could feign ignorance with a serious face. She sure is something. She's even better than me. I slapped her a few times and pushed her to the floor. Rika, having tumbled downward, looked at me with tears in her eyes. This all happened because you wanted to change the storehouse's lock to something that was easier for you, right? That's true. The old one was too heavy. So I talked to Kimiyoshi and he changed it to a cheaper, lighter one. If you left the heavy lock on, maybe that would have prevented them from trespassing. This is your fault too. Don't you forget that. Of course, the Kimiyoshi family, who actually changed the lock, is responsible for this too. That last part was something I added on a whim. I added it to connect Rika's story to the disappearance of Kimiyoshi. I wanted to pressure her psychologically by doing so. The head of the Kimiyoshi family had to pay for his crime. That's why he disappeared. The head of the Furude family has to pay for her crime too, you know? Riko is still on the floor, tears pouring down her cheeks. Keiichi Marubara is the last one left. I suppose the Furude family will take care of him. I don't know anything. You don't need to know anything, do you? You just have to look worried. That's all it takes. That's how it is at our house, too. Anyway, good luck. I don't... Rika hung her head. She seemed to want to say something, but she was afraid that I might be rough with her again. I doubted Rika Furude was actually at the top of the curse system like the hag was. However, as one of the 3 family heads, she was a lot closer to the underside of Hinamizawa than I was. By now, that underside was well aware of Keiichi Marubara. I told the elderly leaders of the village yesterday in the meeting that Keiichi Marubara was the last one remaining. I just told the head of the Furude family the same thing, if threateningly. If my threat was effective, the curse of Oyashiro-sama should very soon fall upon Keiichi Marubara. And at just the right time, I would grab my enemy right as he took my bait. If the assassin came for the Furude family, this girl would have committed the same sin as the hag. When that time came, I wouldn't hold back. I was going to make sure she suffered and then kill her. I've heard of a torture technique where you pound dozens of nails into a victim's fingers. I already found a restraining table and the tools for it. When the time comes, I'll pound nails into your fingers. That gruesome anticipation radiated from my eyes and scared Rika even further. Didn't she try to do that to Keiichi in Chapter 2? Smashing the nails into the fingers?
Yeah, I believe so.
I wonder how Kimiyoshi is doing. I doubt he died from tiptoeing all night, but sometimes a human can go very easily. He already told me everything I wanted to hear, and he doesn't know anything else anyway. On top of that, he was responsible for spreading the infection that was the curse system of Oyashiro-sama. Sins are very heavy. I really liked Uncle Kimiyoshi. He had always been kind. The hag was so tough on her relatives, and that's why he was extra nice to me. When we talked yesterday, I was so happy to hear him say that he would forgive Shion. He even said he would fight the hag to save her. That made me very happy. Don't worry. If Shion-chan feels bad about what she has done, she won't be demoned away. Leave it to me. I felt such warmth inside of me. I almost shivered. I was so happy, yet so very sad, for he continued to say that Satoshi-kun deserved to die. He said those nice things because he wanted to make Mion happy, since she was worried about Shion. Satoshi-kun deserved to die because he was a member of the cursed Hojo family, but Shion-chan of the Sonozaki family did not. That's what he meant. In other words, to the leaders of the village, including Kimiyoshi, members of the Hojo family are more contemptible than insects. They didn't care if they lived or died. Their sin was not only that they despised the Hojo family so, but also that they let the hatred infect the rest of the village. Therefore, everyone in the village deserves to be a victim of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Kimiyoshi and the others created an environment that excused murder in that name. If that was so, if Takano-san and Tomitake-san hadn't committed the serious crime of trespassing in the ritual storehouse, then Satsuko Hojo, the last survivor of the Hojo family, and Teppei Hojo, who has been hiding in Okinomiya, might have been the victims. So we finally get to see Teppei. Satsuko Hojo. She was always around Satoshi-kun. She expected Satoshi-kun to help her every time she cried. She was one of the people who cornered him. If Satsuko wasn't that much of a burden, Satoshi-kun wouldn't have killed his aunt. Somebody told Satoshi-kun to commit that murder. And to hide the evidence of his connection to the mastermind, Satoshi-kun was demoned away. That's what Oishi thought. If Satoshi-kun hadn't killed his aunt, maybe he would have been chosen as last year's victim. Because the commands were vague, after all. The curse of Oishiro-sama fell upon the Hojo family as a whole. It didn't matter which member of the family died. His aunt had a terrible reputation in the neighborhood. She didn't communicate with her neighbors. She was always throwing fits, and there was nothing nice about her in any way. Even if Satoshi-kun didn't kill her, the curse would have fallen upon her sooner or later. Their aunt was the first victim. There needed to be another Hojo to calm the curse. According to a rumor, their uncle was living somewhere in Okinomiya with his lover. However, Okinomiya was a little different from Hinamizawa. The Sonozaki family was powerful there as well, of course, but it would have been more difficult in Okinomiya to demon someone away. So naturally, Satoshi-kun and Satoko, who were still in Hinamizawa, became the targets. Which one should be cursed? That was simple. Satoko, of course. She was snobby and lacking in manners. Everyone in the neighborhood liked Satoshi-kun. Even if he was the son of the Hojo couple who betrayed the village during the dam conflict. Compared to Satoko, he didn't deserve to die. Therefore, the actual victims of last year's curse should have been his aunt and Satoko. Satoshi-kun was suddenly all alone. His mean aunt and mean uncle were gone. His sister, who was a burden to him all his life, was gone too. Satoshi-kun was such a nice person. He would be sad, although he'd realize he was finally free. But time would heal him. I'd even help. He didn't have to live in his house in Hinamizawa. There were plenty of empty rooms in the apartment block where I lived. I could find him a part-time job, too. He didn't need to go to school in Hinamizawa. He could go to school with me in Okinomiya instead. He wouldn't know his way around or really anything about the school there, so I'd be with Satoshi-kun all the time. I'd show him a shortcut to school, we'd go shopping, I'd teach him many different things. What an unbelievably happy ending. Satoshi-kun had been suffering so much, and I had been pushed away all my life, but we would finally be happy. I enjoyed these sweet delusions, but I didn't have any more time to waste. I was sure there were plenty of old people who had been trying to get hold of Oreo all morning, and were going to try and catch me after I got home from school. Actually, the phone had been ringing constantly while I enjoyed my happy thoughts. When I answered the phone, I casually listened and replied. As I planned, Keiichi Marabara is now known as the next cursed victim within the underside of Hinamizawa. I also tried to let them know that the disappearance of the village chief had something to do with the fact that he changed the lock on the ritual storehouse's door. All the authorities on the other side came to realize the seriousness of trespassing in the storehouse. After all, one of the heads of the three families got punished. One of the phone calls was from Oishi. He had also heard about Kimiyoshi's disappearance, and he knew it had something to do with the changing of the lock. I'm impressed. He has some pretty good sources, but all he can do is catch whatever information he can get. There's no way for him to find out where it's coming from. I'd call Keiichimara again later tonight. Some of the more aggressive villagers may have already started to take action around him. I'm sure that by now Keiichi is feeling the danger that's coming toward him. I have to be careful that he doesn't get killed easily. If I can catch the enemy before they bit Keiichi, I can use him again as bait. Keiichi Marabara. I haven't known him for that long. He's funny, if not intelligent. He'll never replace Satoshi-kun, but I do think he's fun to be around. There's just one thing I don't like about him. He rubs my head far too often. His hand is as warm as Satoshi-kun's hand, which is why I can't stand it. But that's about it. Keiichi Marabara isn't Satoshi-kun's enemy. I don't hate him. He's fun to be around, but I wouldn't shed a tear for him if he became a victim of the curse. I won't prevent Keiichi Marabara from being killed, but I won't kill him myself either. I'd made arrangements for the curse to fall upon him, but I never told anyone to kill him. Well, I suppose I did tell Rika Furude to take care of Keiichi Marabara. Wait a minute. To avenge Satoshi-kun, I'm doing the exact same thing as the hag did. I'm using the exact same system that killed Satoshi-kun. Keiichi Marabara. I'm just using him. I told people to let the curse fall upon Keiichi, but I've been giving him appropriate warnings. I'm going to help him if he tries to live. If I catch all of my enemies, maybe I'll let him loose. He's different from Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun was tricked into killing his aunt, and was killed himself afterwards, so there wouldn't be any evidence remaining. I won't kill Keiichi Marabara. That's how I'm different from the hag.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
That's what you think right now. Mion, Shion, wherever you are.
Evening was turning to night. I had to get dinner ready. I had to eat so I'd have enough strength to take revenge. This place was far from the town. It would even get isolated during winter because of the snow. It's not unusual for a household like this to have 2 or 3 refrigerators. There were plenty of groceries left in them. I was glad I didn't have to go grocery shopping. I could hear the chorus of the Higurashi. People often say that the sound of the Higurashi brings back memories. But for me, it's the exact opposite. I've only ever heard the sound of the Higurashi in Hinamizawa. Therefore, the sound of the Higurashi, to me, is Hinamizawa. The sound reminding me that I wasn't supposed to be here, that I couldn't be here. That was when I heard the doorbell. Because there was a good distance between the house and the gate, there was both a doorbell and an intercom by the latter. It had a security camera, too. Something as modern as a security camera monitor in this old-fashioned kitchen looked rather strange. I turned the switch, but nothing appeared on the monitor. I tried to check the plug, but there was a bunch of cords going behind the refrigerator, so I couldn't even do that. The doorbell continued to ring while I tried to figure out if the monitor was broken or I just didn't know how to turn it on. I only felt like answering the door depending on who it was. It'd normally be easier to pretend to be out, but that wouldn't help me. I was waiting for my enemies to show up. I couldn't just hide myself in that case. The hag was supposed to be sick and in an extremely bad mood. I'd already sent word out that she didn't want to see anyone. So who could it be? I made up my mind and turned the intercom on. If it was someone unwanted, I could just turn whoever it was away. But I had to act normally so I wouldn't arouse suspicion. I had to act normally. Yes? Who is it? Hello? She didn't tell me her name, but I recognized her voice. Rika-chan. What are you doing here? At this time of day? I ran out of soy sauce, so could you share some with me? Soy sauce? I almost screamed, but I controlled myself. I took a moment to think about the situation. I just realized something.
Soy sauce.
This is the night Rika dies.
Yep.
And goes missing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know where this is going.
I kind of had that feeling that's how this chapter was going whenever Rika showed up.
And it's like, yep.
Oh, man.
This is not going to be pretty. Hinamizawa was far from the most stores, so sometimes neighbors would share seasoning and stuff with each other. The village sometimes got snowed in during winter, but the Furude Shrine was quite far from this house. It was rather odd for her to come all the way here on her bicycle just to get some soy sauce. Maybe she was using it as an excuse. Maybe there was something else she wanted to talk to me about. That was when I noticed a piece of paper that was on the refrigerator door next to the intercom. We still have plenty of homemade soy sauce in stock. Feel free to come to the Sonozaki house if you want some. The hag must have given that flyer to everyone. One of our relatives sent her a barrel of soy sauce. If you want some, bring a container. That's what the flyer said. I see. This would explain it. There was a handwritten note on the bottom of the flyer. The soy sauce is in the storage area under the floor. Give them as much as they want. There was a storage area beneath the floor. When I opened it, I saw a barrel of soy sauce alongside a funnel and a ladle. I didn't want Rika to notice anything suspicious at this point. I decided to share the soy sauce with her. Sure. Did you bring a container? I brought a soy sauce bottle. Okay. Come on in. I'll be at the front door. As I headed there, I heard the doorbell ring again. Me. The gate is locked from the inside. I can't open it. Ah, that's right. Sorry. I'll be right there. Just hang on. People didn't pay much attention to safety around here in Hinamizawa. People didn't think too much about locking the doors. But as someone who's lived in a town, I've always locked everything. To let Rika Furude in, I'd have to go outside. Good evening. Good evening. Rika smiled at me. She was holding a huge soy sauce bottle. She acted like I never yelled at her, got violent with her, or made her cry at all today. Or perhaps she came to curry favor, thinking that she angered me. I invited Rika to the front door. I told her to wait for a moment and try to take the bottle, but Rika took her shoes off and walked into the house with the bottle in her hands. Don't worry, I'll get it for you. Why don't you wait here? I'm pretty good at pouring soy sauce into a funnel, you know. She looked at me as if begging. I guess she wanted to pour the soy sauce into the bottle herself. I didn't want her to come into the house, but I suppose I didn't want her to wait there alone either. She came to the kitchen with me. I could keep my eyes on her. And so, I brought Rika to the kitchen. We walked down the hallway. I only heard my footsteps. I stopped suddenly and turned around to make sure Rika was following me. Rika bumped into me. Meep. Sorry. I made sure she was right behind me and started to walk again. Tap, tap, tap. Tip, tip, tip. Tap, tap. Tip, tip.
Hooray.
Rika must have been having fun matching her footsteps to mine. Even when I quickly sped up, our footsteps matched perfectly. Tap, tap, ta-tap. Tip, tip, ta-tip. Tap, tap, tap. I stopped suddenly. Tip, tip, tip. Tip. Rika stopped suddenly too, after taking an extra step. When I turned around, Rika smiled at me. Our footsteps matched perfectly, and when I stopped suddenly, I heard her extra step. I experienced such footsteps before. It was making me feel uncomfortable.
Uh-oh.
But now, although her footsteps sounded the same as the other ones I'd experienced, I saw her when I turned around. That was the difference between them. I left the storage door open so we could see the soy sauce barrel. The memo said she can take as much as she want, but I wasn't sure there was enough left. I crouched down and tried to open the lid of the soy sauce barrel. Even when I crouched down, I could hear Rika's extra step. Good. There's plenty left. Take as much as you want. When I turned around, Rika was very close to me. But, who was this? I saw Rika, but it wasn't Rika at all.
Oh, man.
It was like when I switched with my sister. The outside was the same, but the inside was different. Did Rika have a twin sister? I was confused for a moment. That was when Rika sprayed something from a small bottle into my eyes. Huh? I felt a terrible pain in my eyes, and suddenly tears poured out and my nose started to run. I couldn't stop sneezing either. As I stumbled around covering my face, I then realized I was attacked. I shut my eyes tightly for a moment, then opened them again. Rika was about to grab my hair and drag me down onto the floor. When Rika saw me open my eyes, she sprayed at me again. I shut my eyes to avoid the spray, but my nose still breathed in the substance. I avoided the pain in my eyes, but the tears, the runny nose, and the sneezing continued. Shit! Ah! My brain isn't working quickly enough. However, when I finally understood that I had been attacked by Rika Furude, my brain started to grind into motion. Rika Furude knocked me into my back and got on top of me. I tried to escape from her by rolling on the kitchen floor. As I rolled, I hit an oven. A huge jar. I destroyed a pile of something on the floor as I fought back. But Rika didn't let go of me. She stayed on top and restrained me. She was sitting on my stomach and I felt intense pain and pressure. She sure could fight well. I still couldn't see anything. Rika had the upper hand. My eyes were shut and I was in real danger. As I tried to blink, I saw Rika's expression. I didn't know Rika Furade all that well. I only knew her from the few times we met when I went to school as Mion, and from the things I've heard from other people. As far as I knew, there was no way Rika Furade would ever do something like this. This is just impossible. Impossible. Impossible! No, I can't fill my head with that word. I have to calm down and figure out what to do next. Shit. I'm too much of a mess to even think. I tried to peek at her face again. She still had the spray bottle in one hand. What I didn't expect was the thing in the other hand. How could I mistake it for anything else? It was definitely a syringe. When Rika realized I regained my eyesight, she pointed the spray bottle right at me and let loose with it. I shut my eyes tightly and tried to ignore the pain. But that was when, even though I was blinded, Rika made a miscalculation. She had sprayed me from such a close distance that she inhaled the substance as well. I heard Rika sneeze and then realized it was my chance. Even if I couldn't see, I knew she was right there. I hit Rika's face a few times. When I felt Rika's weight shift, I escaped. I then got my stun gun ready. Rika must have inhaled just a little of the spray. She wasn't sneezing anymore. She was glaring at me instead. Hey, hey, hey! Are you picking a fight with me? You want me to wreck you? Rika's expression didn't change, but I was sure she was disappointed that her surprise attack was a failure. Rika flinched just a little. She was still holding the spray bottle and aiming it at my eyes. She was trying to use the spray first and then give me the shot. I didn't know what was in that syringe, but it was a clear liquid. It had to be something bad. She wanted to take my eyesight, then get on top of me, and then give me the shot. If whatever was in the syringe took a while to take effect, I might have the chance to fight back. It seriously injured Rika. But Rika's surprise attack told me that just being injected was more than enough. In other words, whatever the effect, it would start to work immediately. Therefore, I wouldn't be able to fight back against her. It'd probably either knock me out or kill me. In any case, what I had was equally deadly. My stun gun was very powerful. Just one shot would be all it took. What happened before was proof of its power. Rika knew my stun gun was a lot more powerful than her spray. She was being extremely cautious. Hey, what do you think you're doing in my house, huh? If you aren't moving, then I'll come to you! I threw a pile of newspapers at her. The pile wasn't tied together, so the newspapers flew all over Rika. I jumped at her immediately after. I shoved my stun gun into her and pulled the trigger. Rika spasmed and fell to the floor. You fool. Hesitating in a fight where a single blow wins? Only amateurs just glare at each other. You don't have a single clue about how advantageous the first strike is when a single blow can decide everything. The spray bottle rolled on the ground, but she still had the syringe. Rika was down, but I couldn't let my guard down either. I kicked her in the side and clambered on top of her. I took the syringe. I held Rika's arm down and gave her the shot. My actions could hardly be called gentle. I injected her violently. I injected everything that was in the syringe. Rika began to convulse. I stood back and watched for what would happen to her body. Of course, I still had my guard up. While I assumed that the drug would incapacitate her immediately, I didn't know exactly what kind of a reaction she would have. Look at you! Did you really think you could defeat me? Think again! After a few more convulsions, Rika instantly got to her feet. That's ridiculous. How can she even stand? I looked at my stun gun. Damn it! The power was on the lowest setting! Maybe it had just been readjusted when we were rolling around the floor. I changed the setting to maximum. Rika turned pale and started sweating all over. I didn't know its exact effects, but if Rika had given me the shot, I'd be the one experiencing her symptoms. She looked really sick, so obviously she must have been feeling awful too. She couldn't even focus. She was very wobbly and had her hand on the wall. She lost her balance and it must have been hard for her to even stand. She didn't even look so brave anymore. Rika wobbled some more and moaned as if she was about to throw up. Rika looked scary as she moaned and wobbled, but at the same time, she looked kind of funny too. Certainly, she hadn't even dreamed she'd be getting the shot herself. As the man sows, so shall he reap. That's what you get. This is funny, so funny! But please don't throw up here. Go to the bathroom, okay? I'm going to enjoy how long it'll take for you to die. Oh, but that means I can't torture you later, huh? I've been planning to use the nail table on you. So either you choke on your own vomit and die, or I pound nails into all 10 of your fingers. Huh, I wonder which it'll be. Okay, I know. Let's move to the underground shrine storage. I'll put you to sleep so I can move you there, okay? I walked up to Rika, my stun gun making popping sounds. When Rika saw the sparks from the stun gun, she moved to grab a huge kitchen knife. Oh? Are you still trying to fight? That makes things more fun. I have so much I want to ask you. I would suggest you back down. Well, actually, even if you do, you'll go through the same misery anyway. Sorry, but I'll refuse that invitation, you torture maniac. What she said wasn't anything I'd expect to hear from the Rika I knew. But I didn't hesitate. I had the advantage, so I didn't need to worry. Besides, this was coming from the last survivor of the Furide family, one of the 3 families. That sudden change somehow felt natural. Compared to what the 3 families have done, this is nothing. Thank you for that high praise, though. I should be proud of myself, huh? So, are you seriously thinking about fighting me with a knife in that condition? You can't even stand straight. You're right. Like you said, I'm at my limit. But if that means getting captured and tortured to death by you, then sorry, I'm taking my leave. Taking your leave? Oh, try it if you can.
She's gonna kill herself.
It was clear who had the advantage here. But despite that, an odd thrill filled both of us. We lost our minds wasn't a fitting phrase for the people of Hinamizawa. It was a feeling of release when modern demons could stop pretending to be human. Yes, this was a mad banquet of demons, with a savoring of blood and devouring of flesh. Attended by the head of the Furide family and the head of the Sozaki family, the old families whose blood is closest to the madness of the demons. I stood in front of the hallway so as to block her escape route. The windows had grated and the door had a safety chain on it. If she turned around, I'd hit her with my stun gun. In this situation, what did Rika Furide mean by taking her leave? Rika got her knife ready. I expected her to aim at my stomach when she attacked, so I took a stance with my stun gun ready in my hand. Rika, however, suddenly turned around. I carefully watched to see what her next move would be. Rika put the handle of the knife to the wall and held it in place. What was she doing? Goodbye, torture maniac. I won't give you the satisfaction of killing me. Rika reared her head back and slammed her throat against the knife on the wall.
Oh. Yeesh.
Her blood splattered all over. Rika bent backwards repeatedly and let the knife slash at her throat, again and again. Her neck and chest were dyed red. I'd always thought blood was darker. But her blood wasn't dark. It was so bright. I must have been confused, but it looked pretty. After doing this several times, Rika turned around. Her eyes were wide open. She didn't even look like she was from this world. Her face looked like something both living and dead, both real and artificial. It was very scary, eerie, and above all else, pale. Although her face looked unearthly, it was a very appropriate face for a demon. I didn't have a mirror, so I couldn't tell, but I was sure I looked exactly like her.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Rika continued to violently slash her throat. It reminded me of someone trying to break a huge piece of ice with an ice pick. It was exactly what Rika looked like. The white chips of ice coolly flying through the air. What I saw before me was a beautiful sight. Every time Rika struck her throat, tiny drops of red blood splattered the boring white rolled around her. It was like a dance. A dedication dance by the final head of the Furide family. The demon's last dance of dedication to Oyashiro-sama. Upon seeing that literally blood-curdling dance, I let out a fierce roar. I had no reason to do so. I was howling like an animal. We were like animals trying to kill each other, both getting covered in blood. And, inevitably, as one convulsed in a pool of that blood, the other threw back its head and howled. My body shivered with the joy I felt inside of me. This was death. The most final of judgments, and it was right before me. The demons howled, screamed, and roared. The roars faded and my voice started to change, from the voice of a demon back to that of a human. And as a demon, I roared, but as a human, I sneered. Rika was covered in blood from her neck down. Her blood was pouring out, making a little noise. Rika was still staring into my eyes. I stared back at her. I wasn't sure they were still eyes, though. They were no longer human eyes, but eyes of the dead. Rika's corpse, vomited blood from her mouth and the nose, and smiled. Then she dropped the knife. She stuck her hands out and turned her palms upward. Her wiggling fingers reminded me of an insect's legs. Those fingers reached up for her own throat. I'd never seen anything like it. I'd never seen anybody do this before. Because Rika was scratching at her own throat. She was ripping her own throat apart. Maybe that wasn't a good description. She was trying to rip out the inside of her throat through the opening she'd made with the knife. Her fingers found the biggest tear. Rika smiled. At least that's what I would have called it if she were alive. She ripped open the tear in one tug.
The drug.
Upon hearing my scream, Rika died and fell on her face into the pool of blood. That was it. She didn't get up again to show me her throat. I stepped back from Rika Furide's body and bumped into the wall in the hallway. I roared again in admiration of the ritual dance of dedication of the head of the Furide family. Joy ran through my body and my blood rushed through my veins. I won! I won! I defeated her! I then realized I disposed of the heads of the three families, the core of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Everything was finally exposed. The curse of Oyashiro-sama and its masterminds were all exposed. I disposed of the leaders of the three families, who all killed Satoshi-kun. The head of the Sonozaki family died of a heart attack. She was at the bottom of the well along with a wheelchair. I apprehended the head of the Kimiyoshi family. He continued to tiptoe until he died. The head of the Furide family died, in a way that was perfect for the final head of the three families of Onigafuchi. I did it. I accomplished my mission. I defeated all the masterminds who killed Satoshi-kun with the curse. Every one. Satoshi-kun, you were powerless. You didn't have the means to fight back. Those evil people simply sneered while they let you die, after marking you as a member of the cursed Hojo family. I will never, ever forgive them. They believed you deserved to die because you were one of the Hojos. As long as it was done by the curse of Oyashiro-sama, they didn't care how you were killed. I will never forgive those people for creating this world. What could I have done to save you, Satoshi-kun? I couldn't save you. Shion Sonozaki couldn't do anything else at the time. If I was Mion, not Shion. If I was Mion that day, I could have saved you. Mion could have saved you. That's right. I remember now. Shion. She said she wanted to eat red snapper sashimi that day. I was supposed to eat that, but Shion pouted and cried. That was why I let her switch, just for that night. I did it to make her happy, like a big sister would. Shion was never treated well, so I felt bad. That was it. I was being a good sister, that was it! When morning came, the world had been turned upside down, and it remained so until today. We weren't twins anymore. The one with the demon was Mion, and the one without the demon was Shion. What was that supposed to mean? Wait, Mom, listen! I'm Mion, not her! You can tell us apart, right, Mom? Look, can't you tell I'm Mion? Come on! Everyone, tell me I'm Mion! I'm Mion! Don't call me Shion! I'm Mion! I am! Then I realized. You knew, didn't you? That the relatives weren't gathering for a simple party that night. You knew. No, I didn't! I really didn't know! Huh? How can you say that? You were so persistent that day! You said you never eat red snapper before, so you really wanted to try it. You never gave up asking me. I really didn't know. I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have said that. Oh, sure. You were always jealous of me, always looking at me with those foxy eyes. That was why I switched with you every once in a while. But you weren't satisfied with just that. You became even more jealous. And that night, you knew what was going on and took Mion from me. You took Mion from me. Give Mion back. I'm the one who's Mion. I am Mion Sonozaki. You were Shion this whole time. Don't call yourself Mion, you imposter. I kicked the bars of the cell repeatedly while I roared. Compared to my roar, the metallic noise of the bars sounded like the cry of a little puppy. I had been convinced by something so stupid that tattoo of the demon was just a way of telling us apart. Even without that tattoo, I am Mion. That's right, I am Mion Sonozaki. I gathered my hair and put it in a ponytail with the yellow band that Mion used all the time. Since I didn't feel my hair on my neck, I felt like I could think more clearly now. Two Mions looked at each other through the iron bars. According to our sibling rules, that was never to happen. Yes, there was only one Mion and one Shion. There can never be two of either at the same time. Shion, let your hair down. I am Mion, and Mion is here. You were never Mion, so don't pretend to be me ever again. Do you hear? I said, do you hear? If you do, answer me. Answer me, Shion. I took myself back on this day. Shion admitted she was Shion. How wonderful it is to be Mion. I feel great. I can think clearly now.
It still says Shion.
Because after all, Mion is capable of anything. Unlike you, Shion. How dare you pretend to be Mion? Do you have any idea? Huh, Shion? Yes, sis. Shion called me sis. And so I was Mion. Ah! The demon who had been asleep deep inside of me was finally allowed to wake up. The demon roared and my whole body shivered to express its joy. Shion, you committed a great sin. You were Mion until now. You were in a powerful position as Mion in the Sonozaki family, yet you didn't even try to rescue Satoshi-kun. You had millions of chances to save him, but you chose not to do anything. I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. I could have saved Satoshi-kun. You took him from me and you killed him. I'll never forgive you for that. Shion was shaking on the other side of the bars. I will kill you. I'll kill you in the best possible way. Starting today, I'm going to think of the best, most gruesome way to kill you. Shion, you better spend every minute fearing what's coming to you. I won't just kill you. I'll make sure your death is long and miserable. And after you're dead, I'll throw you into the well. You better apologize to Satoshi-kun when you get there. This is what you get for pretending to be me. Do you hear me? That's your sin. Ha ha! The demon's really coming out.
And that's... Oh,
Still not done!
not done yet.
I needed to at least clean up the kitchen. While I was putting old newspapers onto the floor to absorb the blood, the phone rang. I didn't want to answer her, but maybe I should. I should answer and talk to whoever it was. Hello, this is the Sonozaki residence. Thank you for answering. This is Hojo calling. I was surprised to hear the Hojo name, but I realized right away that it was Satoko. Oh, Satoko? What's the matter? Sorry to call so late. Is Rika not there with you? Yes. Ever since Satoko Hojo was abandoned, she had been living with Rika Furude. Of course, she'd get suspicious that Rika hadn't returned yet. Yeah, she's here. Oh, she's still there? It's long past dinner time.
Ooh.
Hey, Satoko. I made too much dinner tonight, so I told Rika-chan to eat here with me. Huh? Is that so? Why don't you come over too? I have plenty of food left. Rika-chan has already started eating. Oh, Rika! Alright, I'll clean up a little and then head out. See you shortly. Okay. I'll be here. See ya. Click.
Satoko, no!
Shion is killing everybody!
But the drug worked. It made Rika claw out her own throat.
So,
Not done.
it's still not done! Come on!
We're skipping to... Oh.
Keiichi! I've been calling your name for a while. You have a phone call.
That's right, the phone
It's
call.
from Sonozaki-san. Sonozaki-san? Which one? The older sister or the younger one? I don't know! Ask her yourself. Hello? Mia? Or is it Shion?
We've seen this conversation.
It's me. Shion. Good evening. Shion? Sorry about last night. I got all riled up. He must have been worried about how I hung up the phone so suddenly last night. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other one is alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety. Yeah, I agree. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have, so that we don't die like Hatakano-san and Tomitake-san did. Ugh, gulp. Heard Keiichi swallow loudly. Then, let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right? Yeah. I'll be fine. Keiichi agreed to be quiet and listen. I explained the dangerous situation Keiichi was in once again. Just like how some evil people in the village attacked Takano-san and Tomitake-san, they might attack us any day. It was ironic, of course, that while I was warning him, I was also the one who made sure the curse would fall upon him. Let's report anything we notice that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then just maybe we'll find out who killed them. Or maybe even the truth behind the incidents of the past few years. You're right. You're right about that. Then I'll start, since I suggested it. I feel like somebody has been watching me lately. What? I was making this up. I just wanted him to realize how urgent the situation was. It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kei-chan, then maybe it's not just in my head. Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's fine with me. Seemed like nothing had happened to Keiichi today, at least. Now that the heads of all the three families were gone, it was possible the curse system had been destroyed entirely. If that was the case, then Keiichi might not be attacked after all. But if there was someone who did want to attack him, That meant part of the system was still alive. In other words, my mission wouldn't be accomplished just yet. Keiichi is like a litmus test in this situation. I'd know whether or not all my enemies were gone depending on if Keiichi got bitten. He sure is a very useful man. After that, I went along with what Keiichi said, and made sure he was fearful of Mion, as well as all of the 3 families. I explained to him the possibility that the whole village was involved, and that the curse of Oshiro-sama might be some sort of system. Then I remembered Shion wouldn't know too much about the disappearance of the mayor, so I continued. I just heard this myself. Is it true that Uncle Kimiyoshi went missing? You mean the mayor? Wait, Shion, you haven't heard? I don't know anything. I just overheard my father talking about it on the phone again. Yeah, actually last night after the meeting, he didn't come home, so the whole village was in a panic. They searched all over Hinamizawa, but if they found him, then I haven't heard. The police should be searching for him as well. Why didn't you tell me this? Tell me something that important right away. Sorry. I thought you already knew. I didn't want to hide it or anything. Kei-chan. What? What should I do? What's wrong? Tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it. It was just that, the conversation got turned around, and we're on the same side, right? I won't get mad, so just tell me. Uncle Kimiyoshi, I told him everything. Old man Kimiyoshi. He's someone you feel comfortable confiding in, Shion? Yes. He would. When I was little, he was really nice to me. All I did was play tricks on him, but he would always just smile. He listened to anything I had to say. He was such a kind person.
Oh, Shion.
Calm down, Shion. It's not like he's dead, right? Don't lose heart so easily. Keiichi tried to make me feel better, but he had no idea what was actually going on. It really made me laugh. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the ritual storehouse. Also that someone saw us and was out to get us. Does the mayor know how absurdly Takano-san and Tomitaki-san died? Yes. He knew about it. I told him that they died by Oshiro-sama's curse and that I could be made a sacrifice to calm his anger. I just said it straight out. Right. What then? Uncle Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled and told me that if I was remorseful about it, there was no way I'd be demoned away. He was really smiling, and he told me to leave it to him. I actually got a little sad while saying that. Uncle Kimiyoshi had been so reliable. I was happy when he said that he would protect Shion. I truly was happy. If only he hadn't said anything to insult Satoshi-kun. It's my fault, because I confessed everything. Stop it, Shion. It's not your fault. No, it is my fault. I told him our secret. Uncle Kimiyoshi found out about everything, so he had to have been killed. It was right after I confessed him, after all. He disappeared the same night, and he told me everything was going to be alright. It was such a strange feeling. I wasn't upset at all. But as I pretended to be upset and mutter words of prayer for Kimiyoshi's safety, I started to feel that emotion growing inside of me. I was only pretending to be distressed to fool Keiichi. Yet the emotion I feigned began welling up inside of me. It felt like I was being consumed by that emotion. So the words coming from my mouth weren't words I intentionally said. They were words that consuming emotion forced me to say. It was like someone else inside of me was doing the talking instead. And I was just watching that someone talk from a short distance away. I should never have told him. All of this should have only been our fault. Only the 4 of us. It wasn't something I should have told someone else. He got killed because I told him. He got killed because he knew. He got killed because I confessed to him. Hey, stop! If they were doing that, then they would obviously have killed you before killing the mayor. It doesn't make sense. You or I should have been killed first.
Oh.
Why would other people die before us? It does make sense. They must be planning to kill us last of all. Huh? Wait, what? They start by killing those we're close to, and after they've caused us so much pain, then they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. What I just said scared me, even me. Killing our loved ones first to harm us emotionally.
This is where she gets the thought of killing all of Mion's, or now Shion's, loved ones first, and then killing her.
Killing our loved ones first to harm us emotionally, and then only then kill us at the height of our suffering. Whoa. I felt something crawl up my spine. That's awesome. That's an awesome idea. I must not be human anymore. I really am a demon. A human can never think of such cruel things. That would be one incredible hell. Your close friends dying one at a time after being tortured. And after all that, you yourself get killed. What a great way to destroy someone's life. Why was I getting so excited about this? Because I could get going with that plan right away. Rika-chan! It's Rika-chan! What? What did you say just now? Well, the truth is, I told her about it. I told Rika-chan today. Rika-chan? You mean Rika-chama? The one from the Fude Shrine? Yes, Rika-chan. I felt so scared and uneasy that I did it. I told Rika-chan. When you did, what did she say? The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said. I'm sorry, Shio. I'm worried about Rika-chan. Right. If you're that concerned, then don't worry about me. Please go find out whether she's safe. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll call you again tomorrow at the same time. When I do, you'll know I'm still alright. I got it. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Sorry, I'm hanging up. Angie hung up roughly.
It's just fallen into place.
What a hilarious conversation with Keiichi. Everything was just too damn funny! Keiichi Marabara, go ahead and struggle helplessly. Run all over the village and see if the curse is still alive. Go ahead and see if my enemies are still around. I laughed for a while and then calmed down. I already got rid of the bicycles and shoes belonging to Rika and Satoko. My house was, for the moment, taken care of. I could expect Keiichi to run around in a panic to ask for help from someone, and then ultimately come to Mion. More than likely, the youth group would end up looking for Rika like they did with the mare. I'd probably have to endure another long night again, knowing nobody would find her. I decided to wait until the phone rang. I killed time by watching TV until it did.
This is gonna be a long chapter.
Kei-chan, are you serious? I'm gonna get really mad if this is a joke. I scolded Keiichi for suspecting that Rika had disappeared.
Hey-chan! If it really is a joke, don't get mad. Smile! It would be a joke after all. We need to make sure whether it's a joke or not.
You're right. Sorry for getting upset. Reina rebuked me. While she looked quiet, I felt that she could be very terrifying under her skin. I had no basis for that impression, but I still felt that way. I just didn't like her. I disliked her ever since that rainy day at the bus stop. It wasn't that we didn't get along, though. How should I put it? I was a little at a loss for how to explain. That was it. I found a good example. When I was little, I always wanted to play tennis. I had my relatives take me to a tennis court, and they all praised my skill. I was doing nothing more than hitting a ball with a racket. But they told me I was talented, and that made me happy. When I went to school, I told my classmates I played tennis, and they told me that I was talented too. Then, one of my classmates, who was usually very quiet, said she also played tennis. Not only did she play, but she took lessons. Although I bragged about my serve, I was no match for her. I felt lonely and insulted that everyone was paying attention to her and not me. She was usually very quiet, but suddenly I realized that she knew more and had a lot more experience than me. Reina at the bus stop was just like that. I thought of myself as a demon now. I'd awakened a part of me that was half human and half demon, the part that lived in Onikafuchi Village. In fact, I'd already stepped into a world where normal humans couldn't go. I'd already surpassed my human limits. I genuinely thought of myself as a superior being, having transcended the realms of mortals. But when my eyes met with Reina Ryugu's, I felt what I did long ago with tennis. Why? Why did I felt that way with Reina? I heard that in the animal world during battle, animals glare at each other to display their strength. Only humans have to punch or kick each other to feel superiority or inferiority. Most animals can tell just by glaring at each other. In that case, could it be the same with Reina?
Mii-chan, are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. I haven't slept since yesterday, you know. Sorry. Kei-chan climbed up a ladder and tried to peek into the window on the second floor, where Rika and Satsuko lived. It was my job to hold down the ladder. Reina cautioned me to hold onto it tightly.
Mii-chan, I'm gonna go check the main house just to be sure, okay?
Oh.
I'll be right back!
Okay. Be careful. Reina ran off after that. When I looked up, I saw Keiichi trying to open a window, but all of them were locked. What did Reina mean by the main house? Keiichi asked me from the top of the ladder. It's the Furide family's actual house. After her parents passed away, I think it's been left like that. Ah, right. Rika-chan's parents, they passed away, huh? Satsuko is also an orphan. Her parents fell from a cliff because of Orishiro-sama's curse. Then her older brother, Satoshi-kun, he disappeared. Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He'd heard the name before? I felt anger growing inside of me. Don't you know whose desk you're using every day? You act as if it belongs to you. You drop food on it while eating lunch. You drool on it while taking a nap. Don't you know who it really belongs to? Why am I acting this way? I'm Mion. Satoshi-kun doesn't even exist anymore. He was demoned away. It's hardly Keiichi's fault that he didn't know. It really isn't his fault. Satsuko and Rika-chan have been living in this shack ever since. Neither of them has a family, but at least they're together. They help each other out. Didn't Reina say there was a main house? Wouldn't it be easier to live there? I think she tried that at first. She said it was hard, though, because it reminded her of her parents. After everyone in Satsuko's family died, she started living with Rika. It only made sense. Satsuko and Rika were best friends. They didn't care about the Hojo family or the Furide family. They had been best friends since before the dam conflict. The reason why the curse never fell upon Satsuko. Rika Furide probably had a lot to do with it. That made more sense than anything else, at least. Satsuko was pardoned from the curse of the Hojo family. All thanks to Rika Furide's arrangements. Satsuko had never been a victim of the Night of the Watanagashi. According to the curse system I uncovered, the last survivor of the Hojo family, still living in Hinamizawa, would be the perfect target for this year's curse. Therefore, whoever was responsible for executing the curse must have tried to take her life. However, nothing happened to her, proving that Satsuko had escaped from the curse. That was really and truly infuriating. She might have been the head of the Furide family, but I still couldn't accept that such a little girl had enough power to protect her best friend. Mion, no, actually Shion. Shion must have had the same power then. Just like Rika protected Satsuko, Shion could have protected Satoshi. Damn it! Damn it! Rika-chan and Satsuko-chan. They have it hard, huh? She's cursed. Huh? Mion, what did you just say? I said she's cursed. Mion, why are you making that face? Satsuko Hojo. She's been cursed by Orishiro-sama. I can't accept that Satsuko was pardoned for the curse, although she was a member of the cursed Hojo family. She was one of the cursed Hojos! Satoshi-kun wasn't pardoned, but Satsuko was! She was cursed, but she got away. She escaped the curse, but Satoshi-kun didn't. I can't accept that. In fact, Satsuko should have been the one who one to be cursed the most. She cornered Satoshi-kun physically and emotionally. That was why things got weirder and weirder, and in the end, everything went crazy. When I think back on it, it was Satoko who I hated most of all. She cornered Satoshi-kun. And as a result, Satoshi-kun disappeared. She started it. She caused it. If only she hadn't been there. Just as Rika Furude and Satoko had lived happily, maybe there had been a happy future for me too. Maybe Satoshi-kun and I could have started our lives together in Okinomiya. Yes, if I look at both at the beginning and the end, it's so obvious. Satoko's existence caused everything. Satoshi-kun had to kill his aunt because of Satoko. The three families used that need to create the curse, and then they killed him. The police were convinced he just ran away, but he'd never do that. He was the type of person who always did his best at everything. All by himself. He was doing the very best he could for his only sister, yet he was forced to vanish. He worked so hard for Satoko, and though he was living just for her, he was erased. Or Satoshi-kun. He was so underappreciated. That girl knew no gratitude. She was cursed. If you got near her, you'd meet the same fate. You'd be cursed to die, or disappear. That really was it. She was the main cause behind it all. She wormed her way into Rika Furude's good graces, and that was why the curse fell upon Satoshi-kun. She should have died first. Then Satoshi-kun would still be alive. If he was alive, I could have done something for him. I can't forgive her. I can't forgive Satoko. I can't forgive that girl. There can be no peace with her. There can be no peace. She was the perfect target for the curse of 1983. The curse of Oyoshiro-sama. Rika Furude, the reincarnation of Oyoshiro-sama. Rika was dead. The reincarnation of Oyoshiro-sama had died. There was no more God in Hinamizawa to deliver the curse. I'm the one who has to deliver it now. I am Miun Sonozaki, the head of the Sonozaki family, one of the three families of Onikafuchi. Now that all the heads of the three families are gone, there is nobody to surpass me. I will deliver the curse of Oyoshiro-sama, and nobody else. I'll deliver it. I am the curse. I have become Oyoshiro-sama. I felt hot bubbles boiling over deep inside of me. I could tell the demon inside of me wanted to roar. I noticed Keiichi was looking down at me. Calm down, Mion. You can't tell what you're thinking. Calm down. Calm down. At that point, I heard footsteps coming closer. I saw 4 or 5 adults, accompanied by Reina, running towards us with flashlights in their hands. One of them opened the lock in the cabin door, and we all went inside. Of course, there was nobody there. Satsuko and Rika lived alone. I doubted Satsuko would have left a note saying she was going over to the Sonozaki house when Rika was there already. But it wouldn't be fun if she had. Because of that, I hurried into the room ahead of Reina to make sure there was nothing left behind. The rumor of Rika and Satsuko's disappearance spread around the village quickly. More and more villagers gathered at the Furude shrine. Acting in place of the head of the Sonozaki family, I commanded them to search the village. The villagers nodded and scattered. How long had it been since the last time I was truly Mion? I felt so pleased that my body also went numb. Lots of villagers went in and out of the shrine. They yelled at each other that she was nowhere to be found. Some suggested other places to look, and they all left. They made a lot of noise with their comings and goings. Members of the Women's Association brought out huge pots and gas cookers from the storage and got ready to cook for the men. That was when I noticed Keiichi unsteadily walk around toward a copse of dark pine trees. What was he thinking? How stupid of him to be alone on a night like this. If a person responsible for executing the curse was nearby, he wouldn't come back safely. Mion-chan, we went all around Ojaga Lake, but didn't find anything. We tried to light up the pond, but we're gonna have to wait until the sun is up. Okay, thanks for your hard work. The women are making some miso soup, so please rest up and have some. Mion-chan, do you know where they usually park their bicycles? No, They probably parked them at the bottom of the stairs leading up here. I don't think they come up while carrying them. We can't find their bicycles. Where did they go? If they left on their bikes, they could have gone pretty far. Maybe even as far as the town. In that case, we'll have to look outside of Hinamizawa. By the way, who first noticed that Rika-chama was gone? Huh? It was Kei-chan. He suddenly had a hunch. Oh, that Marabar kid, huh? Huh. He's a little suspicious. Speaking of which, why hasn't the Marabara family shown up when we're in a crisis like this? Marabara still haven't joined the town council, so they're not in the youth group's phone directory. Really? Well, ain't no helping it then. Huh? They joined, didn't they? I think it's just that their name isn't on the directory yet. Last time we updated it was at the beginning of the year. They just moved here, so that's why they aren't on it. That Marabara kid's hunch is still suspicious. They do say the first on the scene is the most suspicious. Where did he go? I saw him walking toward the pine trees. Can someone go get him? Conveniently, I saw Keiichi and Reina walking back toward us. Kei-chan, where did you go? I was worried you disappeared too. Sorry. Looked like nothing had happened to Keiichi. If so, that's fine. That means I took care of all of my enemies. Oh my. I knew I smelled something good coming from over here. I'd be much obliged if you'd allow me to have some. I heard the loud, sticky voice of a middle-aged man. It was Oishi. He must be confused about this year's incident. The scale of the curse this time is nothing like the previous ones. Oishi's information network is about equal to, or better than, that of the elders on the town council. In other words, he could easily uncover a rumor that was circulating through the underside of the village. He must have came here to see if the disappearances of Kimiyoshi and Rika had something to do with the changing in the lock in the ritual storehouse's door. The police will come for me sooner or later. I am Mion Sonozaki. By removing all the heads of the three families, my enemies, I have become the head in their place. I can't allow Mion Sonozaki to continue existing. I have to destroy the existence of the head of the Sonozaki family. When I destroy my own position, that is when my revenge will come to an end. More than likely, I'll have Oishi witness my final moments. My eyes and Oishi's met. Damn it. He thinks I'm suspicious already. You're right, Oishi. I did it. Mion Sonozaki, the head of the Sonozaki family, is the culprit. Are we done now?
There's only two. There's only ever two.
Wrong pipe!
You good?
Yeah!
No! Ah! I was like, yeah! Then I felt it coming back. No!
Man.
Okay.
This one's a doozy.
Whew! A lot to unpack, but let's go through these notes first. Rika Furude. Still trying to come back here. She was the head of the Furude family, but she never even appeared at the most important meetings. Even if she did show up, nobody would ask for her opinion, so it never really mattered if she was there or not. A legend of the Furude family says that if their firstborn child is a girl for 8 generations in a row, that 8th girl would be the reincarnation of Oyoshiro-sama. According to Takano's research, Rika Furude is very likely to be the one. Surely she must be an important icon in the cult of Oyoshiro-sama. The true believers are devoted to her. So it's quite surprising to me that Rika Furude herself was the assassin. It's unbelievable. It's just too abnormal. Usually a VIP like her wouldn't be the one to assassinate someone. It's possible that it was a Rika Furude lookalike. From the way she moved, she seemed experienced in fighting. It's not normal that a small girl like her would jump me without faltering. I just got lucky because I had a stun gun. Without it, I don't know what would have happened. She was far more skilled than she looked. Was she trained as an assassin? Or was it a body double? Everything is a mystery, including that creepy syringe. What's going on? I can't understand. She was like an apparition or something. Did Oryo Sonozaki know of her existence? What is hiding on the underside of this village? That underside might run much deeper than I thought. At this point, I believe that I can complete my revenge by destroying the curse system entirely. That means I have to eliminate the heads of all the 3 families, the successor Shion, and as the assassins who are after Keiichi. Although Keiichi is completely unguarded, he hasn't been attacked so far, even though I told everybody that he was one of the trespassers. In fact, it's me who's being targeted. Rika Furude attacked me. According to my theory, Keiichi should make for a very attractive bait. But nobody has done anything to harm him. Since Rika Furude attacked me, might be that opposing the Furude family is a greater taboo than trespassing in the ritual storehouse. Rika Furude had said that intrusion wasn't a big deal. She sounded like if she was going to let Keiichi walk. And after I accused her of that, Rika Furude attacked me that very night. Are there 2 different factions? Does one handle trespassers in the ritual storehouse, while the other protects the religious doctrines of the Furude family? No, that doesn't make sense. Tomotaki-san's death must have been caused by the Furude family's injections. Rika showed me the effect of it herself, clawing out her own throat and dying like that. But Tomotaki-san shouldn't have been subject to the curse, at least according to the system of the Furude family. I don't understand why Keiichi hasn't been attacked. Did he have something exempting him from the curse, unlike Takano-san? Just like how only Satoko Hojo was spared. Keiichi is a friend of Rika Furude's. So does that mean if you were close to her, you wouldn't be cursed? Was she more important than the whole system? That's impossible. The hag was at the top of the curse system. Rika couldn't have been higher up than her. Scribble, scribble. Are there multiple ways to determine the subjects of the curse? Are there as many curse execution groups as there are subjects? And do they all work separately? It's a mess. None of my theories add up. If I mess up my reasoning, I might make the wrong person the target of my revenge.
Oh, you already have.
I don't understand who the enemy is or how Satoshi-kun was made to disappear. How much did the hag know? That really was a huge loss. I have so many things I wanted to ask her. I killed her by accident. Shit. In that respect, I've already failed in my revenge. The underside of Hinamizawa really does run too deep. Scribble, scribble. The whole page is blacked out with scribbles.
She's going crazy.
But she does... Okay, so it does raise a few questions in terms of, like, exemptions from the curse. Who's carrying it out? Why? And is there certain qualifications as to being exempt or being... I don't know. Because it's like... You have the Sonozaki side that tries to uphold it to, like, a set of rules. And then you have the Furude side that's more of a... If you feel remorse, you pass. It's so, like... So who's carrying out the actions? Because it's clearly that Rika is trying to punish... Shion?
From now on, let's call Mion Mion.
Okay.
Because she is Mion. We know for a fact that...
She is now Mion.
She is now Mion.
Okay. So, she was punishing Mion.
For wanting to carry out...
For...
Maybe there is a stipulation because there's only 2 victims. You can only have 2 victims.
Or it needs to balance out. For every person that dies to the curse, one needs to disappear to quell the anger of Oyoshiro-sama.
And they think that they have... That's it. The Tomotaki and Takano were the only 2 that needed to die. The other 2 would feel remorse.
The other two would be forgiven.
And that could have been talked about in another meeting that Mion was not in.
Also, if we think about how Oreo's position in the curse works, in terms of that anything... She doesn't give orders, but whenever she has a concern, someone carries out her wishes for her.
Maybe that...
And something could be similar for Rika as well. Where, even though the elders were at that meeting, and they were pissed, they knew Rika didn't want anything bad to happen to those two.
Yeah.
So, they halted. Maybe Rika is in a higher position than Oreo.
Mm-hmm. Because
she is the reincarnation of Oreo Shirasama.
Yep.
So they hold that status above Oreo.
That has to be it.
That's my thinking. Right now, that's my theory. That Rika is at the top, since she is the status of the reincarnation.
And now, like, what's going through my mind is what we're about to, like, uncover probably in the next episode, is why is Mion, the Mion now,
yes,
why does she go to the hospital where Keiichi is after torturing him?
Well, it's also possible that was a delusion of Keiichi's. It's very possible it could have been just a delusion, because at that point, wasn't Mion dead?
Mion was dead. Mion. Because Oishi said Mion was found at the bottom of the tunnel. Because we now know that Mion and Shion have swapped places.
Okay, because I'm trying to remember the sequence of events that happened at the end. So, in the underground chamber where Keiichi was taken by Mion, true Mion, he was strapped to the table. She was about to start nailing nails into his fingers, and then Oishi and the rest of the police force barge in, and I'm trying to remember the sequence of events that happened. I think either the hospital scene was next, or him going outside at night to see Mion, and then getting stabbed.
The real Mion. And getting
True
stabbed.
Mion. So I think the hospital scene was first. He had delusions, I think.
No, he went into the hospital.
The hospital was last?
The hospital was last.
So he survived being stabbed.
He survived being stabbed, and then chapter ended with him seeing Mion.
In the reflection.
Yeah.
She was all bloodied.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended with him
That.
getting his nails getting pounded in.
I'm just trying to think of what happened between those.
So at some point during the when the police barge in, Mion gets away.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like at that point she already disposed of Shion.
She throws Shion down the well.
That's probably... And she probably has already killed... I don't know if Satoko's dead yet, but I feel like we're going to see the death of Satoko in the next one.
She said that Satoko's bike was disposed of. So, she has Satoko.
She has Satoko, but I don't think she's killed her yet.
No.
It sounds like her plan is to kill all of Shion's friends in front of her.
Yeah, basically.
That's why she's going to take Satoko... She took Satoko, she's going to kill Satoko in front of her, she's going to kill Keiichi in front of her.
Does she try to kill Reina?
I don't remember that. I don't think she does. I don't know. That part escapes me.
Because if she goes after Reina...
That would be an awesome fight.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome fight.
Because
they've already set that up, that Mion doesn't know what's up with Reina. It's like, this girl is fucking giving me, like, red lights, red flares.
What if Reina is the one that's actually behind some of this?
I don't know. Even though we're like 5 chapters in, we know almost next to nothing about Reina or how her mind works. I'm gonna guess that a future chapter might be from her perspective. I'm going to fucking die if that's the case.
I'll let you... I think they will let you, like, not do her voice. If she
Or at least during the inner thoughts.
Yeah, the inner thoughts are
We'll
fine.
see how far I get if, with her dialogue. There's gonna be a lot, but if that happens, we'll make that decision then.
But that fight is coming. I feel
Top
like
10 anime fights. It's gonna happen.
Dude, that whole time that Rika was like slamming her head up against the knife, I was just like trying to picture it in the anime.
Oh, I've already seen that scene.
Oh, you have?
Because it was in the top 10. It was like goriest anime deaths. It was like number 2. It was number 2.
Jeez.
Yeah. I didn't know at what point that took place in the story of Higurashi, but I just knew at some point that would happen. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen now, isn't it? It's gonna happen now.
Doom.
And the way the anime has it look, it almost looks like she's slamming into her head, not her throat. So that was like, oh, it's her throat. The anime made it look like she was slamming into the side of her head.
I mean, she could have been.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, she's disposed of
Rika.
all the 3 heads.
The 3 heads are...
And her plan to complete her revenge is to kill herself.
Yeah. It's Shion.
Wait a second. Wasn't at the very end of the 2nd chapter, if it wasn't Keiichi, it was somebody who at least told Keiichi. They went to Shion's apartment, heard arguments, and Shion fell from her apartment and died. Did Oishi kill her, or did Reina kill her?
Did Reina kill...
Because I don't remember what happened to Reina in that story. Somebody kills her. She wanted Oishi to be there when she died. So part of me thinks it's Oishi.
Dude, if Reina threw her from her apartment building... Holy crap.
Because she said it herself, that's how she wants to finish her revenge. She wants to completely remove the curse system. And she is the final piece.
But what I think she means by that is she wants to kill fake Mion.
Oh.
And make an example and get away with it and become Shion. She must kill Mion Sonozaki.
Yeah, but the thing that makes it confusing is she wants Oishi to watch.
Oishi was the one that found her at the bottom of the well.
And they can't tell them apart.
And they can't tell them apart.
Alright.
But I do remember the apartment thing.
Yes.
So...
Very vaguely. I do remember that happened.
Jeez.
I really need to go back to that fucking last chapter. Of chapter 2.
We both do, to be honest. We keep saying that. We're just gonna finish this chapter and be like, oh, that's what happened.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna legitimately try to get around to reading that chapter.
Or at least watch it.
I feel like it'll be more detailed if I read it.
But you did read it.
I just read it again. You know what I mean.
Alright, guys.
Alright, so we're going on a little more than an hour and a half now, so we're gonna call it there. It sounds like we're closing in on the conclusion of this chapter pretty soon. 1 or 2 more, and then we're gonna probably be done with chapter 5.
And there's the after party. Probably.
Perfect. I mean, it's been a trend that we get an after party, but we're in the start of the answer arc, so
Maybe we don't get an after party.
maybe it's like. And that's it.